Title: My Girlfriend Cried. I Kissed My Ex. It was a moment of weakness, and I regret it so much. Please forgive me. I said, everyone makes mistakes. Then I showed her the non-refundable plane tickets to Paris I had bought to propose to her on her birthday next month. Start. She was shaking when she said it. Her hands clutched the fabric of her sleeves like she was afraid they'd fall off her if she let go. I kissed my ex, she whispered. It was a moment of weakness. I regret it so much. Please, please forgive me. I remember the way her voice cracked. I remember the way the room stilled. But mostly, I remember how quiet I became. Too quiet for her to understand that something inside me had already died. I said calmly, everyone makes mistakes. And then I placed the plane tickets on the table. Non-refundable, Paris, her birthday next month, where I had planned to propose. And then I lit them on fire. She screamed. I watched the corner of the first ticket curl and blacken. Flames reflected in her eyes, panic, guilt, and a truth she wasn't ready to face. She still thought the fire was the end. She didn't know it was the beginning. I met her 3 years ago when she spilled coffee on my shirt and apologized like she had committed a crime. She was soft-spoken but sharp, clumsy but brilliant, fragile but warm. She looked at me like I was her anchor. And for a while, I believed I was. We built routines, late-night walks, quiet dinners, sharing headphones on train rides. She used to fall asleep on my chest, fingers curled into my shirt like she was afraid I'd disappear. I thought she was loyal in that quiet, unwavering way people rarely are anymore. I thought she was my future. I thought she was home. But trust is only real until it's broken once. After that, every memory becomes contaminated. I didn't find out because she confessed. I found out because her reflection lied before she did. One night, she came home smelling like cheap perfume. Not hers. Her lipstick was smudged, but her excuses were perfect. But the real crack appeared on her phone screen. A preview of a message. 4 words. We shouldn't have kissed. When she realized I had seen it, she panicked, snatching her phone away, spinning lies so fast she tripped over them. But it wasn't the message that broke me. It was the way she hesitated before lying. A 2-second pause I had never heard before. In that pause, I saw the entire truth. The pain was quick, sharp, surgical. But after the pain, something else rose inside me. Cold, slow, deliberate. A different version of myself. A strategist. Revenge doesn't come from rage. It comes from clarity. While she slept beside me, peacefully, shamelessly, I spent nights laying groundwork. I pulled our financial records, separated what was mine, closed the shared savings account she never contributed to. I gathered every message, every screenshot, every timestamp. I mapped out her lies like a web, where she went, who she met, when she shifted. I memorized her patterns, her moods, her weak spots. I reached out to her closest friends, the ones who always suspected she wasn't as innocent as she made herself appear. They didn't hesitate to give me everything they knew. I met her ex in person. He was surprised, but not for the reason I expected. He said she had told him I was the unstable one, the one she might leave. She had been building exits behind my back. I was just sealing them shut. By the time her confession finally came, I wasn't blindsided. I was prepared. The night she admitted kissing him, she thought regret was enough to save her. She didn't know I had set the board months earlier. I didn't yell. I didn't cry. I didn't accuse. I simply started removing my presence from her life. First, I told her I needed space. She cried harder, apologizing between gasps. I kissed her forehead and said nothing. Then I stopped answering her calls promptly, stopped being available, stopped being predictable. She grew anxious, clingy, afraid. She felt me slipping and scrambled to hold on. That was step 1. Step 2 was letting the truth unravel around her. Her friends confronted her with what they knew, because I had nudged them in the right direction. Her ex blocked her after receiving screenshots of her messages, anonymously sent, of course. Her coworkers found out she'd been calling in sick for secret meetups. Her safe world cracked piece by piece. And I watched from a distance, silent and patient. Step 3 was the surgical strike, the tickets. Plane tickets she didn't know about. A proposal she didn't deserve. A future she had already destroyed. When I lit them on fire, it wasn't symbolism. It was closure. For me. But not yet for her. After the flames died, she begged. "I'll do anything. I love you. I made one mistake. Why are you being so cruel?" Cruel. Funny word. I opened the folder I had prepared. Everything was inside. Screenshots, call logs, GPS data. Her lies lined up like dominoes. I handed it to her without expression. She flipped through the pages, her face draining, her breath stuttering, her voice collapsing into a whisper. You knew? All this time?" "I knew," I said, "and I watched what you would do next. You failed the test." Her knees buckled. She sat on the floor, shaking like a child. She asked if there was someone else. I told her no. "I don't need someone else," I said. "I just need to be done with you." She broke. Completely. I left her there, kneeling beside the ashes of our future, clutching the evidence of her own downfall. She tried chasing me in the weeks after. Calls, letters, long texts sent at 3 a.m. I blocked her every time. Healing didn't feel warm. It felt cold, efficient, satisfying. Because revenge isn't fire. Revenge is the silence that follows. I didn't burn the tickets to hurt her. I burned them to free myself. And in that flame, I realized something. Some mistakes can be forgiven. But betrayal? Betrayal deserves consequences.